the was launched.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of AF24NEWS Talks. Today, I'm joined by Dr. Jospeh Deji-Folutile, an expert of the farming industry. He has spent decades teaching farmers how to improve their yield and productivity in the business. And today, we are going to be talking about a recent comment made by the Minister of Economy, Wale Edun, who said that Nigerians should try and utilize the wet and dry season to improve farming yield and stem inflation. So for context, food inflation in Nigeria is now at an unprecedented high at 40%, with overall inflation being around 33 to 38%. And the minister was just saying that one of the ways in which we can stem inflation, especially food inflation, is by improving yield and utilizing the wet and dry seasons. So I want to ask Dr. Deji-Folutile some questions about, first of all, how that can be achieved on the side of the citizens, what we can do subsistently to also improve farming yield for ourselves, and also what the government can do to on their own part to improve that yield. So first of all, I'm just going to ask what you thought about the minister's comments yesterday.
Well, it's a good comment. I don't think it's an extraordinary comment because usually I would not want to. I will say it's rhetorics because it's expected for him to talk like that. And if you are spoken like that, you're just saying the obvious. You're just saying the obvious, and well, that is what I will look at that comment to be. Just saying the obvious. One will not expect him to say anything less than that.
But what do you think Nigerians on their own part can take from that too? Because it also seems like a call to action of a sort. But if people don't even really know what they're expected to do to leverage it, then there's no.
Well, the way I look at it is that the people are always at the receiving end, and the people are ever ready. I don't know from my experience in the farming industry, almost everyone wants to be in farming. Somebody who's doing well, maybe even in technology, somebody who's doing well in other aspects of business, is dreaming to have a farm. And so people want to farm. They want to, apart from the fact that some people have interest in food production or maybe livestock production, people are also being business-minded. Well, can I make money in agri? I learned there is money in agri. What can I do in agri? So people are usually ready to do the farming if there is enabling environment, and if other things are equal. Even when they are not equal and the environment is not enabling, people are still forcing their way to just do the farming. Unfortunately, when you don't have the enabling environment and other factors that are in play, you have a lot of casualties among the farmers that they're not getting good experience from it. Even then, they still want to do the farming because people believe that once you have food, you have solved most of your problems.
I think what can be taken from that is it seems the minister's comment was simplistic and doesn't really speak to the existing realities involved, which I want to now ask, like, what are the challenges involved, that since there are people that actually want to do farming, but for some reason in Nigeria we have a situation of low crop yield, we have a lot of scarcity. You go to the market, as at now we have pepper, tomatoes are scarce. So what is the gap that is there between the enthusiasm of the people and the productivity?
Well, the gap has been consistently there in terms that the people want to go to farm and they have what it takes to go to farm, but then there are other factors that is affecting them from going to farming. So if I want to look at I think before now, even then it has been on the increase, but one major factor that I think is bringing what we have now in place because of security problem. You see, you have people going to farm. Farm are usually in the bush. Whether you are doing livestock, if you don't do your livestock in the bush, people will drive you to the bush. So if you are actually doing the crop, whatever you are doing, whether it's livestock or crop, you have to do it in the bush. And when you now have security problem, people cannot go to the farm in the bush. Some who are going there with defiance just to go there. So, and there is this fear here and there. So that is the major problem. That's a major problem. Even though before the security problem came, there have been problems. Problems in terms of government support, capital, enabling environment, in terms of maybe you have some facilities that can be available to them to get. Banks are not coming forward to loan farmers money because of the peculiarity of the industry. And then the government, even when they put some things in place, it's good. It's very good for you to put things in place in terms of policies. But the major aspect of policy is execution. So, and even when you have the execution, you also have factors that are involved in executing those things. If those chain does not have sincerity, you have a lot of casualties on the way. So there are manners of problems that if you begin to look at them, is very thick. It's very thick.
I want to
Yes.
personalize it a bit,
Okay.
especially from this. If the minister is saying, okay, more people should be in farming, more people should be leveraging the seasons, which you've said is like a commonsensical statement. But if there are people now, Nigerians, thinking about going into farming, for instance, what are some of the shortcomings that you have from experience seen new farmers face, or what have you seen them experience that they should have seen coming up based on your experience, or that you can help them to mitigate?
Generally, from my experience in the farming industry, uh, you have different sector of the economy. In the private sector, for example, now they are very dynamic. Let's say the livestock industry. Now you have the dynamic industry. You have a lot of companies that are marketing products that farmers could use on the farm. On their own, they go all out to educate farmers on what to do this farming right. They do a lot of things because they also want to find a way to help them get it right so that at least they can patronize them. But then at the end of the day, the problem is that the farmers are, let me look at the livestock now first, before I look at the crop. The farmers are well informed. They are well informed about what to do. If I'm doing poultry, I know what to do. If I'm doing sheep and goat, I know what to do. And even then, the private sector are also, there's an ongoing continuing education for them to do it right. But usually, when you are doing farming, if you are looking at livestock now, capital is very important. So you have capital problem, in terms of, okay, how do we get money to do this farming? The banks are not coming forth to give them the loan to do the farming. Even when the loan is available, is about 2 digits. You can't do farming with 2 digits. You can't make profit. so you have that kind of frustration in that area. Then you have the aspect of the fact that farmers who are, okay, I want to go ahead and do this in whatever, okay, let me just do this farming. You also have some frustrations probably in the area of raw materials. For example, let's look at the poultry farming now. The major ingredients that farmers are using in the livestock industry are basically two. You can talk about the soya bean and the maize. And this is a dynamic area whereby farmers are being frustrated day in, day out. So in terms of availability of this material and the cost of the material. So these are the areas concerning the livestock. In crop, I think crop problem is largely security because I know they do a lot of crop farming in the north, and a lot of and I think the northern farmers still has more support than the southern farmers, so to speak. But then when there is security problem, they can't go to the bush to do this farming. So that is where the problem comes for crop. Otherwise, the problem we have now in the area of crop is largely due to security. Because I'm aware that the northern area, apart from the support that they get in terms of fertilizer, capital, I think it's even more available for them there than the southern region.
You made a very good point about the loan structure for farmers, available for farmers. That if you have a loan that is like the interest on it is too high for the farmer to meet up, it's not going to be profitable for the farmer, and therefore it's not realistic. So I wanted to ask if you have any um, experience or any knowledge of foreign where like foreign environments where something different was done to mitigate these issues or to enhance productivity in that respect.
That's a very good question. You see, in developed countries, what they do usually is that they encourage farmers, they encourage them to farm, not only to farm but to also produce high yield farming. So that you look at in the developed country, very few farmers are feeding the population because the few farmers are doing it in large scale, and then they are well supported. Supported in the area of capital, in the sense that usually it's one digit loan. Some even give them, apart from giving them the one digit loan, they also give them a what I call is it a gap of maybe 5 years before they start paying back. And then even when they even start paying back, they also have marketing support. In that they have a marketing system that can absorb those products so that farmers can just be busy with producing, and then these products are being channeled to consumers one way or the other. Not only developed country, where we call in like India now. India give loan like one digit and 7 years before you start paying back. So we've not had things like that in Nigeria, where maybe you have people saying they give grant to farmers, and the farmer that they give grant to, the criteria for giving them grants, sometimes they are all questionable. So I think my own point is that most people want to go into farming. Even those who are doing other businesses, there's this love for farming, they want to do it. But a lot of them are being frustrated because of the factors that are enumerated.
Well, I want to ask just before we round up, I just want to quickly get this. If there is any prediction that you can give us on the basis of what we are saying now, because okay, the minister himself is saying, oh, inflation will soon come down because of the season, and so it was just a natural occurrence for it to go that high. But from your own expertise, what do you think in the next 12 years or 8 months to 12 months, 8 months or whatever? What do you think? What direction do you think pricing is going and why?
Well, I think what we are having now is a fallout of what was engineered several months back when farmers could not go to farm. And many of us will see this coming because you cannot go to farm. You have a season where you have to plant and the season where you have to harvest. So when farmers are not going to farm, you can know that, oh, fast forward several months after, there will be problem with the food. That is what is happening now. Yeah, I think a couple of months back, with the little bit of relaxation on these security issues, people are beginning to go back to farm. So you can expect that maybe, because that's just the natural pattern then, that maybe fast forward about 12 months to come now, you don't expect that effect to have gone down rapidly, but there will just be a little bit of cushioning that with the effects that we have might a little bit soften. But then I think for the minister to be talking, I think what they should all be doing is to put in action. I think action is more important than just rhetorical comments and saying that farmers should take advantage of weather. They know how to do all these advantage things. They know how to do it, but you have to provide enabling environment. You have to provide enabling environment for farmers to be able to do that. If you look at the livestock sector is the problem is maize and soybean. And if government could just see the problem and say, okay, let's tackle this area for these farmers. We talk about maize and soybean. How can we solve this problem for them, this area? Okay, probably okay, if you don't have the farmers being encouraged to plant because of the security problem, now we are solving the security issue. So farmers cannot be going to farm in the north to do the soybean and maize. But in the interim, can we bring in maize and soybean to cushion the effect before we now start to have the harvest? So these are the problems come for dynamic action. Have to be dynamic, have to be things that are practical, things that you not only say it, you put in action, and you also put a way to also enforce the action. Most farmers are willing to be used to enforce these things. Just along the line, if you allow people that they don't know what it means to go into farming, they don't know what it means for people to do this work, then you give them the machinery to enforce these things. You just think that it's a way to make money, and farmers will not get the money. Farmers will not get the material. As a matter of fact, I remember in those days that you find out, okay, fertilizers are released to be given to farmers, and these products will find their way into the market to be sold to farmers. So how do you get that on? So you have made up all these dynamics. So to me, the government is still very, very important. Especially in this part of, even when you have developed countries that the government has involved, that even to the point that to encourage farmers, they even go and throw food to the sea, so that farmers can be able to be encouraged to go back to farm constantly, because you don't know when you have food problem. So they have to be encouraged to be going back to the farm all the time. And when there is massive supply, they find a way to do it with the product, so that farmers can still go back to the farm. So this dynamic thing is very important. And to me, I think they know what to do. Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
And what I mean is that when you say they know, when I say they know what to do is that, is some of the problems that we cry about, in this part of the world, maybe in Nigeria, is what somebody that's even who has a simple intelligence can say, okay, this is a problem, this is how to solve this problem. We need to go into different gymnastics before we can solve this problem. No, this is a problem. Farmers want to go to farm. What do they need to go to farm? They need enabling environment. They need a safe environment. They also need to be supported in capital. Then, in the area of marketing, they need to be supported that the goods are taken off them, so they can go back to the market, to the farm and farm. It's so simple like that. So whatever you can do to implement and work on these areas, you will have solved the problem. You will have solved the problem.
The way the conversation has gone, it shows that there is a lot of responsibility on the part of government, not just to give commentary, but action. But on the side of farmers, do you have any advice for how they can either mitigate whatever they are going through or step up production or whatever?
Like I said, for somebody who has been in the space for more than 3 decades, I know the farmers are ever ready. You see, farmers, how do I mean from ever ready? You look at farmers, even today, farmers have been able to form cooperatives on their own, move together, just crying that if you can just have support. Even we ourselves, we make sure we enforce that thing among ourselves. So farmers are ready to farm. The areas where if they are ready, are they equipped in terms of knowledge? They have been continually equipped. They have been equipped. In fact, I even say that farmers they have too much knowledge, because for my experience in the farming industry today in Nigeria, I believe farmers should be busy producing, while the experts should be busy consulting for them. So farmers are even taking care, they have even taken over the area of experts, because the people who are also trying to sell maybe drugs to them, medicaments to them, they also feel that as part of marketing, let's educate them so that if they are doing well, they can patronize us. So the link is where government should come in, that, oh, this area, we know, for example, now look at the area of fertilizer for crop farmers. That is the major thing they need. They need fertilizer. The land is available. The expertise, people are teaching them what to do. You know, they need fertilizer. Maybe they need loan to get workers to work. Then they need security, so that I'm going to the farm for as long as I want. There's no fear for me to be in the farm. I can live in the farm. I don't have any problem. I just be producing. So look at the livestock farmers. I want soya bean. I want maize at affordable price. If I get it at that price, I can produce for the people, and they will get it at a lower price. You know, in fact, if a farmer desires to produce cheaply and want to sell high, the law of demand and supply will force him down, because you are selling your eggs at zero price. I can sell my own below that. So if I keep, you have to come down. So they are all dynamic. But in the area of farmers, I will say that all I can just say to them is that you want to be philosophical. I say, well, you want to encourage them to not to give up, but to still believe that they should still be going to the farm, no matter what. Go to the farm, whatever they can do, they should always do. And then when the support comes, because we also have some farmers too, that when they get the money, they're going to marry more wives. So maybe in those areas, but you can tell them you have to also be disciplined, so that when the money comes, you are able to use the money and give what belongs to the bank to them. And if the government is trying to support, like I know the CBN were trying to support maybe a few years back, a lot of those kind of money went down the drain, because people would just see that, okay, this is my own time to chop government money. I don't know whether I've been able to.
Very much so, sir. Thank you very much for joining us today. And thank you to our viewers for joining us for another episode of AF24 News Talks. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this, and follow us on our social media platforms to see breaking news updates as they happen. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.